What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Harley Benton R457BK. One of these days I'm just going to be a professional at memorizing model names apparently. So what this is a dead simple 7-string guitar from Harley Benton. If you're somehow unfamiliar with the brand, they basically specialize in making very budget friendly gear, especially guitars and basses. I've had a number of different Harley Benton models on this channel. Most of them have been good, a couple of them have been bad, but I do want to mention again that this video is sponsored by Harley Benton and Thomann, and at the end of this video, if you're interested in buying one of these for yourself, you can go do that using the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Also, if you buy it using that link, I get a little bit of affiliate money, so I'd greatly appreciate it. If you've never seen one of my demo videos before, what I like to do is first and foremost show you how the guitar sounds in a full demo mix. Then we're going to come back, talk about the specs and features of this instrument, show you a couple of soloed tone clips, and last but not least, of course, give you my opinions and thoughts on this instrument. So with that being said, first and foremost, I'm going to show you what this guitar sounds like in a full demo mix. I have it tuned all the way down to drop F, really low, and I'm going to be playing a portion of a song called Apollo by a band called Crystal Lake. So without further ado, this is how the Harley Benton R457BK sounds in a full demo mix. Okay, now that you've heard how the guitar sounds in a full demo mix, we're going to talk about the specs and features of this instrument. So first and foremost, the most striking feature of this guitar is, of course, that it is a fan fret model. What this means is that it has two different scale lengths, which is why the frets kind of go like this, or in other words, they are fanned outwards. So on the high string we have a 25.5 inch scale, and on the low string we have a 27 inch scale. This is really nice, especially for low tunings. Most 7-string guitars that are fanfret usually only have like 26.5 on the low string, so this one is a little bit wider, which is actually better if you're tuning low like I am to drop F or something like that. While we're on the topic of the neck, this guitar has a maple neck, which you can see on the back there. Harley Benton's proprietary tuners, not locking tuners this time around, unfortunately. The fretboard itself is made out of a material called blackwood, and it just has simple perloid offset dot inlays. One thing that is kind of weird about this guitar is that the 12th fret only has 1 dot. I don't know why they decided to do that. Luckily on the side it still does have 2 dots, but only having 1 on the top is a bit strange in my opinion, but we move on. The body of this guitar is made out of something known as limewood. In my unboxing video, I had no idea what this was, but after reading your comments, it looks like it's just a different species of basswood, which makes sense. That's usually a wood used on budget-friendly guitars. You can actually tell that it is a multi-piece body. If you look really closely there, you can see some kind of stripes going down the body, which leads me to believe that this is made out of 2 or 3 pieces. Not that that necessarily matters, but just putting it out there. And other than that, the hardware is pretty much all proprietary. Harley Benton's own bridge system, very simple volume tone, 3-way pickup selector, and Harley Benton's own pickups. Surprisingly to me, these pickups actually do sound decently good for the price of this guitar. I also have the Harley Benton 8-string, which you can see in the background over there, and I thought the pickups on that one were fine, but not good. For some reason, the 7-string pickups, in my opinion, sound much better than the stock ones on the 8-string. I don't know why, but, you know, just putting that out there. So yeah, a very, very, very simple 7-string guitar, and that is definitely reflective in the price, which again is $210 US at the time of filming this video. It's a very simple guitar. The other thing to note as well is the neck has this kind of like unfinished feel to it. Like it kind of just feels like raw wood. So it's like either a very, very, very thin layer of satin or maybe just a natural oil finish. I honestly can't really tell, and the website doesn't really specify. But with that being said, it feels nice enough. It feels a little weird because it's not like that satin or gloss finish feel that most of you will be used to, but it's definitely not unpleasant. So yeah, all in all, a very simple guitar for a very low price. Now that you know the specs and features of this instrument, I'm going to show you how it sounds by itself. So we're going to do a high gain rhythm test on the bridge only, and then a clean test on all 3 pickups, and then of course a lead on all 3 pickups as well. So this is how the guitar sounds by itself. Okay, and last but not least are my thoughts and opinions on this instrument. Now, with these really, really budget-friendly guitars, again, only $200 US approximately, They obviously aren't going to be perfect. This one in particular feels a little bit better than I anticipated, but there was definitely some things that made sense as to how they got the price so low. For example, one of the first things that I did when I got this guitar is I obviously replaced the strings, which you can see have obviously these ferrules on the back of the body here. And when I took out the high E string, that ferrule just came right out of the guitar. It's a common problem that happens on cheaper instruments where they're just not glued in properly. Not the end of the world. The string, when you put it in, obviously holds it in place with the pressure of it, or you can just simply glue it in yourself. Just kind of annoying that it wasn't done from factory. Obviously, that should have been done a bit better. But again, if you're getting a $200 guitar, I don't know. In my opinion, it's not that shocking to have a couple of things here or there that are a little weird. The other thing, like I mentioned earlier, is I noticed that if you actually look at the top of the gloss body, it's like super, super heavy-handed with the gloss, but you can still kind of see these like bumps on the surface of the guitar where the pieces of wood are joining, which I thought was a bit strange. Again, you can't actually feel it to the touch, but you can see it. So I don't really know how that happens. I don't know if it's like plasta dipped or something like that, but it's a little bit noticeable. Again, not the end of the world, but it's something. The only other thing that I really wish it had was locking tuners. That's something I always prefer on every single guitar. It just makes string changing way easier. Again, guitar is cheap. I get why they're trying to save costs where they can, but it definitely would have been nice. Even if it was just the proprietary Harley Benton locking tuners, it would go a long way with saving time when restringing. It doesn't really help with tuning stability or anything like that. It just makes your life easier, and anything that is more efficient, I'm all for it. On to things that I did like I mentioned earlier, I thought these pickups actually sounded quite a bit better than I was anticipating, especially since I had it tuned all the way down to drop F, which isn't necessarily what this guitar is meant for, since most people probably won't tune it that low. Most people would probably stick in like, you know, B standard, drop A, maybe drop G. Drop F is a little bit more extreme than these are probably made to handle, but they actually sounded pretty good in my opinion. The neck pickup, not so much, but the bridge was good enough for a high gain rhythm tone where I was like, yeah, that's acceptable. The other thing that I was actually pleasantly surprised by was actually the tuning stability. Again, even with these really thick string gauges on here and tuned to drop F, it actually held tune really well. Obviously, when I'm tracking a demo track, I'm constantly checking the tuning and retuning. And with this one, I didn't actually have to retune nearly as often as I thought I did. I was still checking it constantly just in case, but it actually sounded pretty good for the most part, and you know, it held tuning a lot better than other guitars that I've had that are, you know, significantly more than this one. So that's pretty much it for my thoughts and opinions on this guitar. Like I said, for the low price of around $200, I feel like it's pretty good. I would strongly recommend this if you're looking at diving into the 7-string realm and don't want to spend a bunch of money just to see if you like it, or maybe you've never had a fan fret guitar before and you want to see what that's all about. Again, it's a pretty easy entry price to get into for something like that. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think this guitar punches decently well above its weight, and it's a good way to try out some new things that the average person may not be able to try, because guitars with these specs from other brands tend to be a little bit more expensive. And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Again, a big thank you to Harley Benton and Thomann for sponsoring this video. They've been longtime supporters of my channel. It's always a pleasure getting new gear from them. And if you want to get new gear from Harley Benton or Thomann, please, once again, go check out that link in the description and the pinned comment below, because anything you buy on their website directly helps support my channel, and it would mean a lot to me. Last but not least, if you are interested in audio downloads, guitar tabs, stems, or a shout out on the screen like these lovely people here, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page, which is also going to be linked in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you next time.